Hey friends, Rick Green here with today's Constitutional Minute. Today our principle of liberty is going to be about executive orders and other executive actions. There's actually, believe it or not, constitutional executive orders. That can be done in the right way, and every president has done that. But then there are unconstitutional executive orders when the president acts outside of the authority that's been given them by the Constitution and by the statutes passed by Congress. And it just depends on what they're doing and whether or not it's within the law. So look at it this way. When Congress passes a law and a president then executes, uses an executive order to implement that law, that's okay. That's actually Article 2, Section 3, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution. It says specifically that the president shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed. No problem there. That's constitutional. The problem is when the president does something that is the exact opposite of what the law actually says. So it's the exact opposite of what the elected representatives of the people passed in a law and maybe a previous president signed, and now along comes a president and with his pen and his phone decides to reverse that. Or sometimes the president will actually write into law on his own something that Congress refused to do. So it may not be a law they actually passed. It may be a law they refused to pass, and now the president comes along and does it all by himself. Here's a perfect example. This week, the president announced his executive orders that are going to require your neighbor or even your brother-in-law to get a federal background check if they buy your old Glock 19. And that would be because you've chosen to step up to a 6-hour C345. Yes, I'm a little partial to my SIGs, all right? But anyway, that's not the point. The point is the president is doing something that the elected representatives of the people specifically exempted. They specifically exempted personal sales from background checks. A lot of reasons why. We don't have time to debate all that here. The bottom line is criminals don't follow any of these laws. But the point is Congress said no to that. And yet the president comes along and says with just his pen, he's going to do it by himself. That is an unconstitutional executive order. It's basically a thumb in the eye of Congress implementing a law that they refused to pass. Now, depending on how old you are, you might have grown up watching Schoolhouse Rocks on Saturday mornings, kind of like I did. So even if you didn't go through my Constitution class I did with David Barton, or you haven't been through the great one that Mike Ferris did, or Hillsdale College, even if you haven't even read the Constitution, surely we can at least remember from Schoolhouse Rocks how a bill becomes a law. And it's not one person with their pen or their phone. It's actually within our American DNA to say no to law by fiat. We have great constitutional protections against that kind of tyranny, but the only way that our constitutional arms, that's the phrase that Hamilton uses in Federalist 73, the only way that they can be used and stop this kind of tyranny is if we, the people, make sure we have constitutionally knowledgeable public servants in every branch and at every level of government. This has been Rick Green with today's Constitutional Minute.